Hello, listeners. This is Kat. Welcome back to Put Your Hands Up Podfic. This will be the continuation of Deku D.O. This will be part 11, chapter 12, entitled Remembrance of Things Past. Izuku tearfully cradled his limp wrist against his chest. The room he was in was creepy. Izuku didn't like it. The overhead fluorescent lights flickered ominously, drawing strange shadows on the cracked wall tiles. And everything smelled like chemicals. This was Izuku's third time at the clinic, but it was his first time alone. Usually Izuku would just hide the blisters and burns left on him by Kacchan. If Izuku worked super hard at hiding them, for a whole week, they would disappear all by themselves. The human body was so cool like that. But today Izuku had made Kacchan extra angry, and the burn was too big to hide. Izuku didn't want his mom to get mad at Kacchan. It wasn't his fault his quirk gave him an explosive temper. So Izuku had left the school and taken the bus on his own for the very first time, all the way to the other side of the city where the quirkless clinic was. A strange sort of creaky banging sound came from the walls, causing Izuku to flinch. "You have to be brave," Izuku sniffled to himself. "Heroes don't get scared." "Now who told you that?" Izuku spun his head around to look at the teen who spoke. "Whoa, mister, your quirk is so cool. Does it let you hold your breath for a super long time? Are you a super good swimmer? Do you get cold in the winter?" The teen, who clearly had an orca whale mutation, let out a hearty laugh. "Easy there, Squirt," he grinned, baring a set of wickedly sharp teeth. "I'm surprised you're not scared of me." "Huh? Why would I be scared of you?" The teen laughed again. "You're right. I'm not scary at all. And to answer your earlier questions, I can indeed hold my breath for a very long time. I am an excellent swimmer. However, I do unfortunately get cold in the winter." "So cool." Izuku had stars in his eyes. The whale man frowned briefly. "How old are you, Squirt?" "I'm Midoriya Izuku, and I'm 4 years old." Izuku tried to hold out 4 fingers, but pain shot up his arm. Izuku winced and pulled his injured wrist back to his chest. "Nice to meet you, Midoriya-kun. I'm Sakamata Kugo, and I'm 15 years old. Are you here alone?" "Uh-huh." "Where are your parents or guardians?" "Kazan is at work." "Does she know where you are?" Izuku shifted nervously. "I'll take that as a no." "I can't tell her about Kacchan," Izuku defended. "Can you tell me about Kacchan?" Izuku hesitated. "Do you promise not to tell?" he whispered, scooting closer to Sakamata-san. "I can't promise that, kiddo." The cetacean teen smiled sadly. "I have to tell someone if you or someone you know is in danger. But how about this? I promise I will talk to you before I tell anyone else." Izuku pondered that answer for a moment. "I don't know. I don't want Kacchan to get in trouble. He's going to be an awesome hero one day." "How about I tell you a super cool secret in exchange?" "What secret?" "If I tell you, you have to promise to tell me about Kacchan." Izuku wiggled on his seat in consternation, brows furrowing. But he really, really wanted to know the super cool secret. "Fine, I promise." "I'm a hero in training," Sakamata whispered to Izuku. Izuku's eyes went wide. "Really? So cool," he gushed. "What hero school do you go to? What kind of hero are you going to be? Who's your favorite hero?" "I go to Shiketsu Academy. I'm thinking of becoming a Limelight hero, though I may choose to focus on rescue work. My favorite hero is Selkie." "So cool. I love Selkie too. When he uses Selkie punch, he's like wham and bam." Izuku shook his uninjured fist in demonstration. "My favorite hero is All Might. All Might isn't ever scared." "Not true." Sakamata wagged a finger. "All heroes get scared, even All Might." "Nuh-uh, because All Might always saves everyone with a smile." "And why does that mean he isn't scared?" Izuku paused, furrowing his brows. "Because smiling is a happy face. A scary face looks like this." Izuku scrunched his face up. "Scared face," Sakamata corrected. "That's true, people do smile when they're happy, but they can also smile when they're not happy." "They can?" "You betcha, Squirt. You want to try?" Izuku hesitated. He didn't feel like smiling right now. His wrist hurt and he was scared, but if All Might could do it. "Okay." Izuku took in a big breath and smiled. "See, you did it, Squirt, just like All Might." "But why does All Might smile when he's not happy?" "I'll tell you another secret. All Might smiles even though he's scared, because it helps him save people." "Huh?" Let me put it this way. All Might is super strong, right?" "Uh-huh. He's the strongest," Izuku gushed. So, if he made a scared face while rescuing you from a villain, how would you feel? Izuku pondered that for a moment. I'd be scared. Why? Because if the villain is strong enough to make All Might scared, he must be super-duper scary and strong. Exactly. That's why All Might smiles. It helps reassure the people he saves. Reassure? It makes them feel better. Oh, like when Kasan gives me hugs. Kasan gives the bestest hugs in the whole world. One time she hugged me for a whole entire hour. Exactly like that, Sakamata agreed. Now it's your turn. Can you tell me about Kachan? Izuku shuddered. He didn't want to. Talking about Kachan was scary. What if Kachan got in trouble and couldn't be a hero anymore, and so someone he was supposed to save got hurt? What if he got mad at Izuku? Izuku took a deep breath and smiled shakily. All Might wasn't there to reassure him, so he'd have to smile for himself. Kachan is my best friend? Izuku tried to find the words. Our Kasans are best friends, so we play together a lot. Except sometimes. Izuku pressed his fingers together. Sometimes I get hurt when we play. Sakamata opened his mouth to interject. What? Izuku cut him off. It isn't his fault. His quirk makes him do it. I'm sorry, what? Kachan's quirk is explosion. It's super cool. He sweats explosive stuff. Nitroglycerin? Yeah, nitroglycerin. And it makes explosions from his hands. Ah, I see how that could cause accidents. The teen agreed. Izuku let out a small sigh of relief. If Sakamata-san thought that Kachan hurt Izuku by accident, Kachan wouldn't get in trouble. Midoriya, Izuku, the doctor can see you now. A pretty nurse with black hair and a clipboard entered the waiting room. Bye, Sakamata-san. Thank you for making me feel better. Before Sakamata could reply, Izuku slid off his seat and followed the pretty nurse. Sakamata-san! Izuku waved cheerily at the other teen. After their first meeting a little over a year ago, the two had continued to cross paths at the clinic. Squirt, what did I say about calling me Sakamata-san? Izuku grinned impishly. Sorry, Sakamata-sama. Sakamata leveled a half-hearted glare at Izuku. Sakamata dono? Sakamata. Say it with me. Sa-ka-ma-ta. No way. I know. You're a hero student, and I'm going to be a hero student. That makes you my senpai. You know what? I'll take it. Sakamata-senpai? Yes, Izuku. How come you're always coming to the clinic? If you go to a hero school, don't you have a nurse? So you know how people treat you badly because you're quirkless? Uh-huh. Well, sometimes people treat me badly because I look scary. But you don't look scary. You look like an orca whale. Orca whales are so cool. Did you know that orcas are actually dolphins? They're the largest dolphins in the whole ocean, and they're super fast. They can go 54 kilometers per hour in the water, and their dorsal fins can grow up to 2 meters tall. I did, in fact, know all that, Squirt. Izuku blushed. But orcas are also known as killer whales, because they are large predators. Predators? They eat other animals. Oh, like lions! Sakamata wrinkled his nose and muttered something that sounded suspiciously like mangy cats under his breath. Right, and because orcas are so big, they eat really big animals and they have really big teeth. And that scares people? Right. The nurse at school is scared of my teeth and makes me feel bad when I go visit her, even if she doesn't mean to. But everyone here is super nice. Exactly, Squirt. Plus, there are some things that a school nurse isn't equipped to handle. I require highly specialized dental work. Dental work? Medicine for your teeth and mouth. Oh, like how Kasa makes me brush my teeth for forever every night. Got it in one. Sakamata ruffled Izuku's hair. I don't like brushing my teeth. Toothpaste is yucky. Sakamata-senpai just laughed. Izuku staggered under the weight of the laundry basket, the teetering tower of laundry inside blocking his vision. Oof! With a crash, the precarious pile toppled and scattered across the hall. I am so sorry. Squirt. Izuku blinked and looked at the figure he had crashed into. Sakamata-senpai! What you up to, kiddo? I'm helping, Izuku informed his cetacean friend proudly. You are you? Uh-huh. Olobi-san and Tone-sensei said I could if I wanted. I'm helping with the laundry, Izuku carefully pronounced. Wow, that's very impressive. Izuku preened at the praise. And Tone-sensei said when I get bigger, I can learn to be a doctor just like him. So cool. Izuku's eyes sparkled. I thought you wanted to be a hero. Yep, I'm going to be the bestest hero, just like All Might, Izuku cheered. Best, Sakamoto corrected. So you're going to be a doctor hero, like Recovery Girl. Uh-huh, I'm going to be a super mommy astronaut doctor hero. Wow. Sakamoto had to hold himself back from cooing at the cuteness. That's so cool. Well, Mr. Hero, let's pick up that laundry together. No, Izuku stomped his foot stubbornly. I want to do it. It's my job. Okay. Sakamoto raised his hands in surrender. Well, I have to go to my appointment. Bye, Sakamoto-senpai. Hey, Squirt. Sakamoto gave Izuku a toothy smile. Proud of you. Izuku, now 7 years old, bit his lip in concentration. Good. Now, what bin do we dispose of the pad in? Tone Hotaka-sensei, a middle-aged doctor with a full beard, asked. The red one, Izuku answered. Correct. It's called a biohazard bin, and anything that has any bodily fluids or may be contaminated goes in it. Could you give me another example? Izuku thought hard. Bandages, or used needles. Correct again. You're so smart, Squirt, Sakamoto-senpai complimented from the patient chair where Izuku was cleaning a wound on his arm. And my arm looks much better now. I still need to bandage it, Izuku frowned. You're lucky you don't need stitches. You're sounding more and more like a doctor every day, Sakamoto chuckled. Hold still, Izuku frowned. I haven't done this on a real person before. Bit of pro advice, Tone-sensei chuckled. Don't tell your patient you don't know what you're doing. It makes them nervous. Sorry. Hey, it's okay, Sakamoto-senpai replied. I'm honored to be your very first patient. Really? Really. Izuku slurped his cup noodles noisily. That was one benefit of the clinic. His Kazan never let him eat cup noodles. She said they were unhealthy. The clinic usually didn't either, but they made an exception for today. All right, kid. Tone-sensei entered the room. You're going to need to stay here overnight this time, so we need to call your mom. Izuku paused his eating. Do we have to? Yeah, kid, we have to. This is serious, Izuku-kun. If you hadn't come to work today, and we hadn't caught the fact that you were sick, you would have died. As it is, your fever isn't going down and is worryingly high. If you don't respond to medication, you could be here for a long time. Your mom needs to know. Plus, I think you need your mom, too. Izuku started tearing up. Yeah, he agreed quietly. I just don't want her to worry. It's a parent's job to worry, kid. It's okay if you're not okay sometimes. I'm going to call your mom. In the meantime, you have a visitor. I do? Izuku perked up. You sure do, kid. Obi-san will be here soon with more fever reducers. With that, Tone-sensei walked out of the room, and a familiar figure walked in. Sakamoto-senpai! I heard you were sick, Squirt. How you holding up? Well, they got my fever down to 39.4, and I'm breathing a little easier now. What? Sakamoto did not look impressed. Be honest, Squirt. Just how sick are you? If Obi-san hadn't noticed my fever, I probably would have gone into septic shock and died, Izuku admitted. What? I have something called MRSA. Izuku paused to catch his breath. Basically, I had a burn, which I didn't treat. I got too badly infected, probably due to contamination with bacteria here in the clinic. MRSA is usually a hospital-borne illness, unlike sepsis, where in 87% of cases the underlying infection actually starts before hospitalization. Izuku. Sorry. Are you going to be okay? Yeah, I'll be fine. Luckily, they were able to catch it before any organ failure, so they just need to give me medicine to get rid of the underlying infection and reduce the inflammation and fever. They started me on IV vancomycin, which should clear it up in a few days. So sorry you feel so sick, Squirt. It's okay. I'm learning a lot about hospital-borne illnesses from it. Only you, Izuku-kun. What can I say? I'm consistent. Sakamoto-senpai snorted. Sure you are, Squirt. Hey, I am too. Kid, I have never met anyone more unpredictable than you. Izuku slouched into his bed and sulked. I'm not, he muttered into the covers. It's not a bad thing, Squirt, Sakamoto-senpai soothed. Being unpredictable is an excellent trait for a hero to have. It is? Yep. It means you catch villains off guard. Cool, Izuku brightened up. I'm going to catch all the villains off guard and protect everyone. Yeah? Yeah, and you can be my sidekick. Only a sidekick, Sakamoto laughed. I already promised Kachan to be hero partners. I see. Alas, I guess then I must settle for being a measly sidekick. Don't call sidekicks measly, Izuku glared. There are so many awesome sidekicks. Did you know that Sir Night-Eye can only use his quirk once a day, and he was still All Might's sidekick, and he even opened his own agency? So cool. And their Skycrawler, his quirk is so cool. Did you see that recent hero fight where he... Okay, I get it. Sidekicks are cool. Super cool. Izuku's eyes started doing that thing where they sparkle again. Way too bright, Sakamata muttered. Izuku! A frantic woman with her green hair tied tightly in a bun suddenly rushed into the room. Ka-san. Izuku's eyes started welling up with tears. Midoriya Inko flung her arms around her son and pulled him into a tight hug. Oh, my baby boy, why didn't you tell me you were feeling sick? Didn't want to worry you. Izuku's words were muffled by the hug. Oh, baby, it's my job to worry. That's part of being a mom. I love you and I love being your mom. So please, let me worry and tell me when you don't feel good. Izuku's tears devolved into heaving sobs. I'm sorry, Ka-san, he wailed. Shh, there, it's okay. I forgive you. Just promise to tell me in the future, deal? Deal, Izuku sniffled. Now, who is your friend here? Izuku perked up a little at the question, face still red with tears and nose running. That Sakamata-senpai, Izuku hiccuped. He's going to be a hero. Ah, so you are the amazing Sakamata-senpai I've heard so much about from my son. I'm Midoriya Inko. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. If Sakamata had the capacity to blush, he would have. Sakamata Kugo. I'm a hero student and a frequent patient of the clinic. Thank you for being such a good friend to my son. Ka-san, Izuku whined in embarrassment. You're not angry? Why would I be angry? Well, I'm a stranger who is much older than Izuku and, well, most people think I look villainous. Sakamata gestured to his face. Izuku talks about you so much, you may as well be family at this point. As for the rest, you may be older, but you are still a child, and there is nothing wrong with the way you look. Would you judge Izuku for being quirkless? Of course not. Then why would I judge you for having a mutation quirk? You don't even look that villainous. In my opinion, people are much more horrible than orca whales anyway. There was a moment of silence. Oh. You're getting good at this, Squirt, Sakamata complimented as Izuku wrapped up his injured dorsal. Well, I'd hope so, given how much time I spend here. There, I'm done. Try not to get your dorsal stuck in any more train doors. It wasn't on purpose. This is the third time, Izuku deadpanned. I mean, yeah, I've got nothing. All right, you'll need to come back in 2 weeks to get your stitches out. Until then, keep the wound clean, and regularly replace the bandage. Keep the wound dry for the next 24 hours. No swimming until the stitches are out, and never leave a wet bandage on. That's just asking for an infection. You're one to talk about infections. Do as I say, not as I do. Remember not to scratch the sutures and avoid any further contact or trauma to the wounded area. Talk to your school nurse. No heroics until you're healed. Come back if the pain gets worse. You notice any swelling, pus, or bleeding. The wound smells bad or you have a fever. All those are signs of infection. I hear you, Squirt. You've learned so much. Sakamata ruffled Izuku's hair. Now that the formalities are over with, how you been doing? I'm good. Izuku gave Sakamata a large smile, revealing 2 front missing teeth. I lost another tooth today. I can see that, Sakamata smiled. What are you going to ask the Tooth Fairy for? Izuku gave Sakamata a withering stare. The Tooth Fairy's not real. Everyone knows that. Right, sorry, I forgot. You're all grown up now. Uh-huh. Next Tuesday I'll be 8 years old. Izuku held out 8 fingers for Sakamata to see. That's right. Happy early birthday, Squirt. You reminded me that I have a present for you. You do? But Tone-sensei says doctors can't take gifts from patients because it's unethical. Unethical. And lucky for you, Squirt, you're not a doctor yet, so I'm allowed to give my Kohai a birthday present. What is it? What is it? Sakamata smiled at the excited kid. While he was undoubtedly proud of Izuku, it was a relief to see him acting his age. Here. Sakamata pulled a neatly wrapped cylinder from his backpack and handed it to Izuku. Izuku tore off the wrapping paper to reveal a poster tube. Izuku popped the cap off and let the poster slide out. Oh, wow. The rolled-up poster unfurled to reveal a glossy image of Sakamata-senpai against a yellow background. He was wearing a hero costume that looked similar to a tuxedo. Underneath the name Gang Orca was printed in big block letters. Sakamata-senpai had autographed it with a small message. Happy birthday to my Kohai, and the best future super mommy astronaut Dr. Hero the world will ever see. So? It's so cool. Fat tears of joy rolled down Izuku's face. I love it. It's the very first piece of Gang Orca Hero merch ever made, so take good care of it, Squirt. I promise, Izuku sobbed. Hey, Squirt, it's okay, no need to cry. I'm sorry. Izuku started to cry harder. I can't help it. Hey, it's all right. Sakamoto-senpai rubbed small circles into Izuku's back. I'm happy you liked the gift so much. It's the best gift I've ever had, Izuku informed his senpai through tears. I'm glad. And when I come back to get my stitches out, perhaps we could grab ice cream and celebrate. I'd like that. But there was no ice cream celebration, what neither of them knew, as Izuku waved Sakamoto off from the clinic door that day, was that it would be over 7 years before the two saw each other again. All right, listeners, this concludes Chapter 12 of Deku D.O. Chapter 13 will be next. I hope you all are still enjoying it as always. Thank you so much for listening.